Howdy y'all, it's Ryan from RNA Music, your favorite mom and pop guitar shop music lesson studio deep in the heart of Texas. Have you ever hurt yourself? You got problems with your hands and you feel like playing guitar is a chore? You want to play acoustic but you can't? Maybe you've got arthritis, maybe you got some stuff going on. We might have a solution for you guys and girls today. Check it out. Story time. All right, I have a good friend named Brad who has this really nice PRS Tonore P20 acoustic guitar that he got, and he's from Canton, but he lives in Florida, and he was in town for family things, and he was talking to me about maybe trading this in for something that's easier to play. Brad, unfortunately, just a couple years older than me, but he's got some arthritis things going on with his hand. He's got some stuff going on with his knuckles that's making it, like playing guitar had become very difficult for him to play acoustic. We talked about getting him an electric guitar because he doesn't have any electrics anymore. Be easier to play, all that kind of stuff. But then he asked about, what about light strings? I said, well, I have some D'Addario acoustic strings that are in tens, and we've had a lot of success with the tens. I have the guy that I learned to play guitar from as a kid. He plays tens, and I thought, that sounds crazy. Why would you use tens on an acoustic guitar? And Donnie said, Ryan, if you have a 3-hour casino gig where you're literally playing a guitar for 3 hours straight nonstop, tens. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense, Donnie. I never thought about that. I don't typically play acoustic guitar 3 hours straight nonstop. So we started carrying tens, and those are great. If you got a really long gig to get through, those would be wonderful. For a lot of our younger players starting out, I put tens in their guitars to make life easier, and it's less painful and all that kind of stuff for acoustic. However, D'Addario this past year came out with nines. Acoustic guitar strings in 9. It's called the super light gauge. It's from 9 to 45. EJ23 is the number, phosphor bronze. And when D'Addario released those, I guess it was last year, I thought, I'm gonna order some of those, because if 10s are great, 9s could be better. I never sold a set until Brad came and got some for his guitars. Let me sell you these 9s before we worry about getting rid of this pretty sweet guitar. Let's put some 9s on it. And he did, and he said it was amazing. It was life-changing for him. He could play this guitar, no problem, with 9s. Solved his problem. He didn't have to get rid of this, didn't have to get an electric. Put 9s on this sweet, sweet PRS. Solved Brad's problem. He's like, yeah, he can play, it doesn't hurt his hands. I just luckily or unluckily, yesterday at some point in time, I tweaked my wrist a little bit. So I am very fortunate and lucky. I don't really hurt my hands. I don't have any arthritis. I don't have any carpal tunnel. I don't have any of that stuff. After many years of decades of playing drums and guitar and bass and all that sort of stuff. Occasionally I will strain my left wrist, occasionally, usually when I'm picking up heavy stuff or overdoing it, yard work or lifting weights or whatever. So I just happened to tweak it a little bit. I probably must have been yesterday, but I didn't feel it until this morning. I was like, ah, well, here you go. Here's the question. How does it sound? All right, well, let's get into that. I've got this PRS, got a Rode camera mic on the camera, but I'm also recording the sound coming straight out of the guitar, right into GarageBand. No effects or processing or anything. So let's talk about how it sounds. Let me play a little bit. So with a pick, we'll do some finger picky. All right. So let's talk about the feel. Super light strings, obviously. They're called super light strings. Very easy to play. Now, what you will find is if you're coming from 12s or 11s to 9s, you really have to lighten up your left hand touch, right? If you can really, it's quite easy to bend the strings out of tune. You know, if you're gripping too hard, just by fretting too hard. You know, if you're used to using way more force, quite easy to fret, push down so hard that you're bending the strings, basically. So you really do have to lighten up your touch. Very light touch in the left hand, which is the point. So if you have hand problems, you can play it and not be an issue. It also, I was noticing as I played it, feels like electric guitar. Bends and vibrato. Oh, bends are so easy. Like, you can practice some lead, bendy, bluesy licks type things. Oh, it's so easy. Vibrato, super easy. So, it's kind of nice, you know. It's hard to practice your electric guitar moves and lines and techniques on an acoustic guitar with the thicker strings, higher action. Now the action on this PRS is freaking awesome. I'm not a PRS dealer. I have several PRS electric guitars. Never played one of these. I can say that this thing is wicked sweet. It's got a Fishman preamp in it, so you can plug it in. Sound-wise, if you are not plugged into, like I have a Fishman Loudbox amp over there, Fishman Loudbox Mini, if you're not plugged into an acoustic guitar amp, or you're not plugged into the PA system, you know, running through the PA, or like, you know, some of this is actually coming out of my studio monitors here. I mean, very little bit's coming out of those monitors, but through a PA or through an acoustic amp, not a really big difference in tone, I would say. Now, unplugged, not through an amp, not through a PA, yeah, it's definitely a little bit thinner sounding. You lose a lot of the beef of the strings unplugged, right? And that was one of the things my old guitar teacher, Donnie, who gigs a lot, said. He's like, I'm playing 10s, going through a freaking huge PA system at the casino. It's like, sounds fine. I'm like, all right. He's older and more experienced than me, for sure. So I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. So when Brad dropped this off, I plugged it into my Fishman, and you know, and it was pretty loud. I'm like, bruh, this sounds great through the Fishman Loudbox Mini amp there. Long story long, if you're struggling with your hands and you've got some obstacles that you're trying to overcome with your guitar playing, bro, I would suggest the D'Addario 9s. Now, D'Addario also makes 10s and acoustic strings, which I thought was pretty light, but the 9 gauge is super unique, and as far as I can remember, I think these have only been out for about a year. I had never tried them until we got some for Brad. What you're hearing is probably a mixture of the video mic, so the room sound, and I'm probably blending in the actual recorded sound here. Lost my train of thought. So I implore you, if you are struggling with your hands, or you just want to play your acoustic guitar like a friggin' electric, try out the D'Addario 9s. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And if you go in expecting unplugged just through the guitar, it's not going to be as beefy as 12s, but the trade-off on comfort and bendability, flexibility, especially if it's on one of your practice guitars, I think it's great. I was pleasantly shocked how good these felt, and how they sounded. Angela has a parlor guitar, and I think we have 10s on her parlor guitar. I play 11s all day long on my big fat Takamine jumbo cutaway Takamine guitar. I use 11s because I do play electric guitar 90% of the time. But I can say that I'm pleasantly surprised. I can definitely recommend these. Yes, we're D'Addario dealers at Arnie Music, whatever. But, you know, this is my first experience with it. You're probably not going to buy them from me because we're a little bitty store in small town East Texas. I don't think I even have them on the website. I think I only have one package left here. When I put in my next D'Addario order, I'm going to definitely order some more of these 9s because I see how they can benefit a lot of people in the guitar community. So, all right. Thank you guys for checking out this video. If you liked it, please subscribe. Please hit a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you have some comments down below, tell me down below, what gauge of acoustic strings do you use on your acoustic? What do you use on your electrics? Do you have any hand issues? Are you struggling with arthritis or joint problems or autoimmune things that affect your joints? Or do you just strain your wrist every so often like I do, picking up heavy things? Tell me that down below. I would love to hear from you guys and girls. What gauges you use. Have you ever thought about going lighter on your acoustic? I would encourage you to try it. What's the worst that can happen? You're out the cost of a pack of strings if you don't like it. I mean, coffees cost more than strings do. Hey, Starbucks coffees do. All right, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Until then, keep the music alive. Don't forget it. The music needs you. We need the music. We need to keep it alive for the next generation of guitar players. And, you know, the current generation of guitar players who might be struggling a little bit with their hands. All right. Thank you, Brad, for letting me make a quick and dirty video with your PRS acoustic, showing off these strings. I'm glad it helped you so much, man. I really am happy that this has allowed you to sort of continue playing guitar and not have to give it up in the face of some physical challenges. So thank you, D'Addario, for making some 9s. Brilliant, brilliant job. All right, see you guys next time.